What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball, and more importantly, welcome back to what I will call the final mock draft before the official one on my channel. We've done a lot of these over the season. We've been watching this draft so closely. This is the last one. But before we start that, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. I'm giving you guys a little bit of a later release tonight because I want this video to get a chance to live a little bit longer before it's just completely irrelevant. And a quick reminder, your boy is going to be live for the draft tomorrow. There is a small chance I'll have to hop off and take a call at a certain point, but if that happens, it happens. But otherwise, I'm going live at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. We'll be talking about the draft live. I hope you guys will be there. It should be a ton of fun. Really looking forward to doing it. But otherwise, let's start talking about the draft. Alrighty, final mock draft of the year. This is exciting. I'm excited to do this. Like I said, we've done a lot of these this year, and let's set the precedent. Where are we in time right now? At the time of recording this, Kristaps Porzingis was just traded. I just put out a video on it not too long ago, as you can see the video right there. That's the last trade that happened. If another trade happens at some point in this video, I'll stop and I'll do it or whatever, but I have to record this at some point and give it a chance to breathe. So if some sort of trade happens tomorrow, which it almost certainly will, I do not want to see any comments like, ABC, this trade happened between my favorite team and some other team, so you have to redo the video. Fuck off, go away. No, I have to get the video out at some point, so this is when I'm doing it, okay? I'm sure other things are going to happen. There's no way Brooklyn goes into this with like 18 draft picks. Like, they're going to trade something, but we're going to do the mock draft anyway, and y'all are going to shut up and you're going to like it. But anyway, now that the hostilities are out of the way, this is what I think will happen. This is not what I think should happen. That's the point of this mock draft. This is just what I'm thinking is going to happen. My opinion are aside at this point. I have no influence over the team that I work for at this point. They're going to do what they're going to do, and they're just going to call me for analysis afterwards. So should be a fun time. Let's get into it. First one on the clock. I really don't need to explain this to you. Cooper Flag, he's awesome. You're not watching this video for me to talk about Cooper Flag and why I think he's great at this point, so I'm going to just kind of skip on over that. Number two, probably going to be Dylan Harper. You guys get it, 6'6", Jalen Brunson. Like, how many times have we said it this year? If you're new to my channel, which I know a lot of you are, we've made so many of these at this point and talked about them. If you want in-depth breakdowns on these guys, guess what? I've got a whole playlist for you to go look at. Look at this. I got like over 30 players that you can go get a little deep dive on. They're comedic, they're fun. So after your team drafts a player, go watch one of these and you can get my little breakdown on them. It should be a lot of fun. The Sixers now, with the third pick. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? This is an interesting one. I am not positive what's gonna happen at this point. If you would have asked me a couple days ago, I would have said I think they're still taking Ace. Not so sure at this point. I'm not so sure. Obviously, the agent thing is in the way. I don't want to see any comments of people being like trying to judge this 19-year-old on his personality. You guys and your weird parasocial shit, acting like you know who people are from across Twitter. Like, it's so fucking weird. But if I had to like place money, I'd say I'm still over 50% thinking they're going to take Ace. It just feels weird that they wouldn't. I'm not doing any trades in this video. I could totally see the Sixers making a deal here, especially with like a Brooklyn or something. I could see Brooklyn trading up now, considering they have every damn pick in the book. I think Ace will go 3 regardless, though, as of right now. And again, talent so high and everything. Don't judge the kid because he's got a dumbass agent. People get rid of agents like all the time. You get him around some vets that he trusts, he'll get rid of the agent. It's fine. Yes, Sharif Cooper's dad is a dummy. We were all aware of that. But don't overreact to it. There's stories like this every year. VJ Edgecombe, if you want other interesting things, like VJ Edgecombe didn't work out for the Hornets. He turned them down, and apparently a ton of people turned down the Hornets to want to work with them. Also, the Hornets, they're putting out lies again. I got a call from my buddy today, being like, we were just talking draft stuff. He's like, oh, did you hear what's going on with Charlotte? And I was like, what's going on with Charlotte? And he was like, basically, they invited like a bunch of people to come work out for them. Only one person showed up, and it was Con Knipple. And I was like, really? None of them showed up, huh? And he was like, nope, that's what they were telling me today. And I was like, wow, okay, fair enough, dude. Hung up the phone, we were talking. Then later, it came out that they've been putting out false information. Trey Johnson has also been working out with them. This new Hornets regime is very sneaky. This is the second time now they've been caught putting out like false information. First it was the Mark Williams stuff, and now it's this. And I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. We should be very skeptical of this organization. If you guys have been watching my channel at all, you should know that I've been saying I have no connections there, and this new regime does not talk to anybody. It seems like I cannot find a crack in them whatsoever to talk to, which is very unusual for me. And I like admire that Charlotte is doing something now, right? Because they've just kind of been a poverty franchise for forever. They're trying to do things, but I'm like, you guys are sneaky. You guys are sneaky. I think they're still going to take VJ. Guys don't work out for teams all the time when they get drafted, so don't come in with this idea like, oh, he didn't work out for them, they're not going to take him. Happens all the time. It's okay. I promise you, I'll hold you tight. Just walk into AVC's arms. You'll be okay. But I still think they're going VJ with the fourth pick. The fifth pick with the Jazz. I get the feeling they're not going to make any moves as of right now. I think they're just going to go for who they deem best available, and I think that's going to be Trey Johnson. I think what they'll say is, hey, we need a wing. He's got the upside scoring potential. Yes, there's some things that he needs to work on, like the ball handling and just like playmaking and really everything that isn't shooting a basketball he needs to work on. But like, it's fine. He's young. He does have a really like great knack for just like scoring the ball right now. I think he's going to struggle getting to the rim early on, but that's okay. This is a good developmental system. He'll have some solid players around him, presumably for the time being. So I like the Trey Johnson pick. By the way, I've got my phone like right here, kind of just in front of me, just in case anything happens and I need to like pause this recording and go record something else. I had to do that with the Thunder ideal offseason video. But yeah, give me Trey Johnson here, and I'm gonna try to keep scrolling down so you guys can see like recaps of the picks so far. I got good feedback the other day from that. The Wizards. So the Wizards made a little deal with New Orleans earlier today. Jordan Poole, gonzo now. He is out of there. If you want to hear my thoughts on the full trade, you can Jesus Christ, where am I at now? You can see it right over here. I thought it was a great trade for both sides. So they got CJ McCollum now. There looks to be some point guard room on the team, I think, and it's not just because it's in this order. I put this order together, honestly, but I think Jeremiah Fears is what they're gonna do here. He's had some great workouts, man. I've gotten to see him myself, and like, dude's definitely got some talent. There's concerns that I have with him like anybody else, but overall I do think he's a really interesting player. I think he's got a nice handle to him. I think he's got a knack for a scoring ability. I think he's a hard worker, which is that's half the battle, and I think there's an opportunity for him to go in there and win starting point guard job if he wants to. And I'm never gonna say he's better than like a Bub Carrington. Bub Carrington's played NBA minutes and he hasn't. If you try to tell me that a player is like better than an NBA player when they haven't played in the NBA, I kind of just want to like spit at you. I'm like, you're just dumb. You're dumb. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. I think they're going to take Jeremiah Fears here. I think they go for the upside at the point guard. When you can find that scoring guard, it can work wonders for you. So I think they're going to go there. 7 with New Orleans. So they've got Jordan Poole now. They've got kind of their pseudo point guard for this year. They got some wings on the team. Sadiq Bey's also there. They moved off from Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk doesn't really matter much in the grand scheme of things. Anyway, this opens them up for a lot of different things. They probably don't need the forward spot now. I could also see them just going with another point guard, though. They've got Jose Alvarado now. Jordan Poole will be there. DeJounte Murray will come back at a certain point. So the way I see it, I think they either go Maluach or Yakachonis here, and I'm deciding this kind of live and in person who they're going to go with here. This feels like a Maluach thing here. Like, I think just the upside of that center is kind of hard to pass up on. And like, Yves Missy had a fun rookie season. There's nothing there to say that I shouldn't go take another valuable center, though, if he's there. And like, let's just try to work on both of them. I mean, why not? One of them should hopefully work. And I just love the upside of Maluach. It's not an ideal fit next to Zion, but Zion's a hard guy to build around just in general, and the player that you're looking for just doesn't exist in this class anyway, unless you're really believing in Danny Wolf. But hey, I think we go Kaman Maluach here with the 7th overall pick. The Brooklyn Nets at 8. We'll see how long they stick here. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they move up to take Ace. With this pick, I think that they go Yakachonis here. I think they go, okay, like let's just go get like our point guard or whatever. He's probably got the most like likely kind of, how should I say this, like ability to achieve his ceiling, if you would, which is like starter level guy that's just really facilitating offense, making things happen. We'll see if Cam Johnson's still on the team. I think it'd be good to keep Nick Claxton around just so you kind of still have that lob threat for him year one. I think that would be pretty good. So I would take I'd take Yakachonis here. Obviously, if another team trades in there, it's a different pick. Okay, the Toronto Raptors with 9. Ooh, I don't think they go Khan here. I don't think that they do. I've seen a lot of people now saying they think Khan's going to go 4 to Charlotte now, which that would surprise me. That would certainly surprise me. I don't think you need to go Khan Knipple. I think there's too much redundancy with like a Grady Dick there. Asenge is totally the type of player that they would go after. I do think they're going to go big for this one, though, and I think they're going to go Derek Queen here. Do I have a ton of faith in Derek Queen being a high-impact player? No, not personally myself, but I get the skill set, right? Like, he does have a lot of good offensive instincts, and there is part of me that says maybe Toronto's looking at the Indiana Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they're like, all of their players can put the ball on the floor and kind of dribble and pass a little bit. What if we kind of did that? Sure, like, why not? Let's give it a shot. And that's kind of what Queen could do. So if you're kind of trying to build a system like that between Ingram, Quickly, Barrett, and I don't know, like Scotty Barnes, obviously, maybe there's something there with that, right? I could also see Toronto packaging this pick with someone else and sending it elsewhere. Again, just giving my general thoughts on things, but I think as of where the draft stands right now, I think they're going to take Derek Queen. Quick little draft update there. Somebody's cooking something. I think that's my wife. She's cooking up something. Thank you for all the concerned comments from the video last night about Drew Holiday, because I recorded my bedroom and in our bedroom because I don't have an office. I just don't. I never planned on doing this YouTube thing, and we could go get a bigger apartment, but I like this apartment a lot. And I have to kick my wife out in the middle of the night when these big trades happen because I want to make videos. And everyone was like, ABC is going to show up bruised to the next video. And so I appreciate your guys' concern for her and for my safety. The Phoenix Suns are now on the clock with pick number 10. So this is interesting, right? This is an interesting one. You look at the Phoenix Suns, they got this pick as a part of the Kevin Durant trade. So KD's no longer on the team. They now have 18 shooting guards on the team between Jalen Green, Grayson Allen, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. I think Bradley Beal is going to get moved. I think he'll go to like some sort of bad team, and he'll just kind of get to play out his time there until he's bought out maybe next season or something like that. So I wouldn't worry about the shooting guard thing too much. I wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Green's getting moved too. I know they're saying that they're not going to trade Jalen Green, but like, wouldn't you just say that to artificially raise his value, right? I mean, that's just kind of like basic negotiating tactics. So I think Jalen Green is still touchable, and I'll be honest, I've heard some of the conversations. He's not untouchable. So we think about this, right? And we're like, what could they use? They could probably use a big, right? I like the idea of an Asa Newell, just kind of giving a lob threat kind of energy guy for them right away. I don't think they need a Con Knipple. Asenge, I just don't think he's going to be ready to contribute much at all right now. At least Newell can just kind of be the rim running, like lob threat, try to block some shots center for them right away. So I think for that reason, I think they go Asa Newell. I like Asa Newell a lot. I think its potential to eventually be like a forward in the NBA, not a center, could be a valuable thing. All right, the 11th pick with Portland. I have to imagine that they're gonna keep their pick. Maybe I'll look stupid for that, but I don't know. Who is Portland gonna pick then? This feels like an easy Con Knipple one. Then if he falls to 11, this feels too simple, right? They need some shooters, just some people to support the young guys. We've been saying it this whole season. Scoot Henderson, right? We want to support him. We want to support Shaden Sharp, Denny, Tamani Kamara, Donovan Clingan. They're adding Drew Holiday to the team, which I'm still skeptical on if Drew Holiday is going to stick around or not. For those of you curious about that one as well, obviously you saw I have the video for it. A quick summary of thoughts. I think it was a good move for both teams. I've seen some Portland fans be like, why are we trading this for Drew Holiday? It's like, well, you're banking on the asset becoming more valuable. You think that you can put Drew Holiday on the court, and one, he's going to help your team develop because he's a good vet and all that stuff, right? He'll be there, like he'll look solid with them because he'll have an expanded expanded role, and then the value will increase, and then somebody's going to get desperate for like a defensive guard like that to put someone over the top, and then you flip him for more than you got him for, right? Obviously, they're taking on risk in doing something like that, but you've got money falling off the books anyway, so I wouldn't trip about it. I think you guys are going to be fine regardless. But yeah, I think you go Con Knipple here. I think you just add the shooter. He's not going to demand the ball a bunch. He's only going to be a support player to all the other guys that want the ball on the team. So I like that pick. Good for culture, too. Hard-nosed working guy. 12th pick in Chicago. Oh, boy. What does Chicago do here, then? Supposedly, Bulls are focusing on a rebuild right now. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm a Bulls fan, for those of you that are curious. Oh, I could so see them taking Colin Murray Boyles right here. I could totally see him doing it. It wouldn't make any sense whatsoever, but they would totally do it. I could also see them swinging for the fences a little bit more. I could also see them just taking another point guard and being like, there we go. Maybe the Bulls will try to trade up in some way. Well, I can promise you they've tried. Basically, every team has tried to move up at this point because it's a great draft class. Who do I think that they take with this current board? I don't think they go with like a coward. They could go with McNeely. I could totally see them doing that. They love to take these guys with not as much upside. I would hope they'd take Carter Bryant, but I'm not sure I believe that they would do that on this current board, so I'm not going to say they are. There's part of me that I think they'd go with a Senge here. I really think that they might. I'm not sure how I'd feel about that personally as a Bulls fan, but I feel like they'll be like, oh, well, we can have him and Matas, and we'll have these two guys where that Giddey can kind of just facilitate to because they can't really use the ball at all right now, and it'd be probably a little bit ugly, but you're going with length and hopefully some upside and stuff, so I can see them doing something like that. The 13th pick with Atlanta. You guys just added Kristaps Porzingis. You have no need to add a center now. What else do you need on this team? Presumably Karis LeVert will be brought back. You could use another guard on the team. You really could. You could use one more guard because you have a couple interesting forwards between Johnson, Reese Shea. Obviously, like Daniels can play those positions. You don't need like an instant impact player, but it seems like you're trying to be competitive next year. So maybe Cedric Coward is just kind of a good option here. He can play both the forward spots. Maybe he could play a little bit of the guard, and maybe you just go find a backup point guard in free agency because there's going to be plenty of them. I don't think that's such a bad call. You just get the for sure best shooter you can around these guys. I kind of like that. I think they go Cedric Coward with this pick here. You get a little bit of defensive versatility as well, potentially, at least. Like he measures out like someone that would be a solid defender. So there you go. 14th pick was San Antonio. Okay, this feels like a really easy Liam McNeely pick right here. I think there's just a culture fit there. UConn, like there's basically a small funnel system. Like there's all these kind of little funnel systems between certain NBA or college programs and NBA teams. UConn really likes, and I'm not just saying this because of Stephon Castle, but like UConn is very selective about where they want their guys to go because they know that there's good NBA programs and bad NBA programs, and they're like, hey, we'd like our guy here. So they're going to try to sell them a little bit more to teams like the Spurs and be like, hey, take Liam McNeely. He's the shooter that you guys need. You guys need size at the forward spot. He's going to be a hard worker, maybe not the highest ceiling, but he'll complement your other guys. You just got Dylan Harper. Go get him a little bit of extra floor spacing. So I think they would go with McNeely here. 15 with OKC. Congrats to them winning the finals. We did a little thingy for them there, kind of talking about it. Who do they take now? They're probably going to have to trade some picks in this draft. I could see them moving back somehow with Brooklyn and maybe getting something in like a Cam Johnson type of trade potentially. I don't know. I don't know. I could see a lot of things happening because we kind of mocked out something like that in the final Ideal Offseason here. A reminder, go watch the Ideal Offseason videos. The series just concluded and it was amazing as always. It grew our channel by over like 30% or 40%, something like that. Something stupid in the past like 2 months. Who do I think they take here? They could take a Colin Murray Boyles. They could just take a Carter Bryant, and Carter Bryant seems to make a lot of sense here because they don't need someone that can play right now, right? Because it'd be almost impossible for them to crack the rotation, right? Carter Bryant, ton of upside in a position of need, which is a bigger forward for them. Oh, that makes kind of too much sense. Could you imagine like if he actually like actualizes some of that potential in a good developmental system like OKC? Now all of a sudden you got Shea, you got J-Dub, you got Chet, and you got Carter Bryant, a little bit more size there. That makes too much sense. I think you got to go with that one there. The Grizzlies at 16. And by the way, I do think that guys like Murray Boyles and Jaeger are going to drop a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if they went a little bit higher, but this is just kind of my thought right now. Checking my phone quick to make sure nobody got traded. All right, we good. We good. I think this one's pretty simple. I think they need some forwards with some size, right? Like they could use a center too. I think they're fine at the point guard spot. We know that they need wings on this team that can contribute, and especially with Bane gone now. But also they need a true center. I don't think the center that you want is necessarily what you pick with this pick here at 16. But I think you can get a wing that can contribute in Nate Clifford right here. Senior level guy, he's going to come in, going to play hard defense, he's going to rebound like hell for you. I look at him a lot like Josh Hart. I think he can fit in day one, maybe next to Jalen Wells, and hopefully you can kind of make out some sort of like forward rotation, someone that can play the three between those two. So I think they go with Nate Clifford here. I like Nate Clifford a lot, by the way. 17, the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves need people that can handle the basketball. They could use some shooters and scorers as well. I've seen a lot of things of like people online writing, and I'm not saying in my comment section, just like I've been perusing like the draft stuff now that like my work is done for the draft, right? So now I feel like, okay, now I can put a little bit of toxic dumbness into my brain by reading what other people have to say. And I'm not saying I'm the only smart one. It's just I only converse with other people who do this stuff like professionally in the industry, because otherwise I just get weird ideas stuck in my head that aren't beneficial to me. So I've been seeing people being like, Minnesota like needs like players that can actually initiate offense. I'm like, no, they need someone to call out some offensive plays and like run something. Like they've got some offensive basketball players. It's just their system's whack. So, but they do need ball handlers on this team. That's for sure. You could go with Yegor. That's obviously an option right there. I think that would be fine. He can't really contribute right away. Rob Dillingham, you're not positive if he's going to be ready by his second season. What I might do is go for someone that's a little bit more ready to contribute right away. I think you go Nolan Traore here. You've already seen him in a very competitive league, be a very competent ball handler, someone that can facilitate offense, run offense very cleanly. Some of the scoring side of him isn't quite there yet, but overall, I think he could be an impactful player day one in the NBA just as a facilitator, and he's got a little bit of potential to become a starting point guard down the line. I think you go with Nolan here. 18th pick by Washington. This is where you go Colin Murray-Boyles. This is where you go with him. You've already taken Jeremiah Fears. There's a big kind of gap at like this other forward spot on the team. And look, just with the team that you have right now, there's not one person that's going to have the ball most of the time, right? So someone like Colin Murray-Boyles can be a bigger part of the offense, and you can run some stuff through him, which that's going to actually be beneficial to his growth because that's his primary skill set on that side of the floor. So I love the Colin Murray-Boyles fit at 18 for Washington. 19, Brooklyn is back on the clock for like the next couple picks. Good Lord. By the way, here's the draft update so far, just so you guys can kind of see where things are at right now, and you can go and compare. Okay, Brooklyn, you've already taken Yakachonis. Cool. I feel like I did this in the other video. I think you just take Will Riley now. I think you swing upside again. And by the way, I can't imagine they're going to go in with all these picks. Let's update Shams real quick. Let's see what's going on. You didn't trade anybody, did you? Okay, Shams. Thank you very much. I think you go Will Riley here. I think you say, all right, let's bring these two together. Both some high upside guys, a little bit younger. Riley at a bit of a different position, doesn't need the ball, but can put it on the floor a little bit. These two can continue to develop some chemistry together. It's hard to find 6'8" wings that can move like that. So I think you shoot for that kind of upside there with that pick. The Miami Heat, this one feels super easy. I think it's Walter Clayton. Apparently he's had some great workouts there. They've had him there a couple times. Obviously the Florida, Miami thing, right? That's always a simple comparison, but he does just like fit them very well. Like I loved watching this guy work out. He works out super hard, works his tail off. He's a good defensive player, actually, despite his size. Like he can go score right away. They need a point guard. This is the option here. You just go Walter Clayton. I wouldn't overthink it. The Jazz have already taken Trey Johnson. Who do you take next? Oh, you take Yegor here for sure. There's no way the Jazz owner passes up on Yegor here. Look, Jazz owner contributes a lot to BYU. He likes that school a lot. So I think they go Yegor here. They've got the time to wait and try to develop him too. He's in a place that he's comfortable. Makes too much sense. We're going for the culture here. Bring Yegor to Utah. All right, 22nd pick. Here we go. What are we doing next? We've gotten a point guard and a wing, and I'll say it again. I know a lot of you guys are listening, but a lot of you don't when you go into the comment section. I imagine the Nets are going to trade some of these picks, but I have to get the video out at some point, okay? So Rasheer Fleming feels like an obvious choice. They could also go a little bit more upside again and go get a center. I think they might go that more so than anything. Take another swing. Thomas Sorber is here. Sorber's an interesting one. A lot of good defensive fundamentals. Not very explosive though, and a little bit like undersized height-wise. I understand he's very heavy. His weight isn't exactly useful weight though, so there is a bit of a difference in that. He's got to kind of repurpose the baby fat, if you would, a little bit, because he's young. He's still kind of growing into his body, figuring things out, and like, yeah, when you're like 19, that's just biology. That's how it works, right? I have some hesitations with him as a player, as I do with all of these guys, right? But it's not my type of center build necessarily, but obviously some upside there. And again, he seems really smart for his age already. So let's go with, I could see them taking a Sorber here. The Pelicans, you're back on the clock with the 23rd pick because you and the Pacers had this little tradey poo. Okay, which now that we think about it, Indiana doesn't have Halliburton next year. I don't think Indiana's going to suffer extremely from Halliburton's loss. And now let me explain, right? Just giving some context behind things. Indiana doesn't run a typical basketball system like everyone else. They run a lot of different people touch the basketball at once. Don't get me wrong, Tyrese Halliburton was the main engine behind everything, but they can do what they were doing still and just not have Tyrese Halliburton. Like, I'm not saying they can contend for a finals without him, because I do think that's fairly unlikely, but I think they can still like be very, very competitive without him, especially because they have so many options at point guard already between McConnell and Nembhard. So I think they'll still be like a competitive playoff team, and a team you have to kind of watch out for with their little gimmicks. But okay, who are we going with here for New Orleans, though? So they've already taken Maluach here. What else do we want to do? Rasheer Fleming could be interesting. Jace Richardson could be interesting. If you take Jace Richardson, I hope you're trading Jordan Hawkins, because that's a bit of redundancy there. Is Jordan Hawkins really 6'5"? There's no way he's 6'5". I've been next to him before. I'm 6'5". I'm taller than him. So I don't know about that. Could just go double bigs here and go Reynaud and get the floor spacing big that we're thinking about. I don't think that's completely necessary, though. You could go with another forward in Rasheer Fleming, because whenever you choose to go with the Zion kind of center minutes, you can throw Fleming out there as well, who can space the floor at the forward spot and still kind of be physical and bump people, and you can kind of switch between those two, which could be nice. And also just like, wow, what a fun team you could have between him and Zion. That's a whole lot of bounce. So I'm not sure about that, though. You could go Drake Powell, you could go Penda. I think Fleming makes some sense here. I think the forwards are harder to find. Again, you already went with a younger guy here. Let's just go with the 3-and-D and athleticism of Rasheer Fleming. Pick 24, OKC. Man, OKC, you just have everything, don't you? They don't need Jace Richardson. They already took Carter Bryant. This feels like a very appropriate time to take a big. We talked about this in the OKC video, but I think Danny Wolf makes a ton of sense here, and here's the reason why. They don't necessarily need a center between Jalen Williams, Hartenstein, and Chet, right? What they do need are some bigger forwards. Danny Wolf presumably will play center. He can very much play an OKC style because he's so comfortable with putting the ball on the ground. And offensively, you probably could play him as a power forward. Like, I don't think that's a stretch at all. Like, I think this guy could very well convert to a forward in the NBA if he can do it at all defensively. I'm not saying it happens year one, but it at least gives you that kind of option. So I think you go Danny Wolf here for the team fit, if nothing else, because he'll get to do what he does best. Orlando, and they just missed on Danny Wolf, but Jace Richardson is here and Reynaud. It's going to be one of these two, but who's it going to be? You could go get another guard that isn't quite a point guard. That I don't like that idea. I like the idea of Reynaud a little bit better. Do I think he's going to be a long-term starting center? Not necessarily, but considering Franz and Paulo, you hope they become better shooters, but for the time being, they're not, and the floor spacing on this team, while they've added one shooter in, they haven't they haven't marked it here yet, but Desmond Bane will be on the team. You still need more than that. It would be nice to have a center option that maybe is more comfortable, maybe at least like a Wendell Carter level comfortable of stepping outside and hitting, and I think that's what Reynaud could do. I'm not mad at you if you want to go Jace Richardson here, because it's definitely a more for sure shooter here. I just think it's kind of a weird fit with what they already have positionally on the team. So I'm gonna pick Reynaud with this one. 26. We're back to Brooklyn again. Now, do you just take Jace Richardson because he's fallen this far? If nothing else, yeah. I think so. I think that's probably the direction that you go here. Again, off-ball scorer, someone that Yakachonis. Here's the thing. Yakachonis could switch and guard twos then, which might be more beneficial to him. And then you try to develop Jace as more of the defensive point guard that offensively plays more of a two because he can't really handle the rock right now. That's probably not a bad way to look at it. That would be a ton of really young players, but you know what? Fuck it. They're not going to use all these picks anyway. Let's take Jace in this scenario. 27, you got to take somebody a little bit more mature here. You've gotta, right? You've gotta. But we've got like freshman. Oh my lord. I guess Thiero's more of a junior. Do you just shoot for upside again and go with like a Thiero? If you did, you'd probably just go Penda, though, right? It's kind of, again, a different type of player, bulkier forward, gonna work his ass off too, doesn't really need the basketball to do anything, can feed off of Yakachonis. I could see that. I don't really see the point in Drake Powell or Joan here, so I think I go Penda here. I don't think you need to do Seraph and Yakachonis. The Celtics here. This feels like a good Ben Seraph one. This is a good way for them to add like another like potential ball handler on the team. Long term could have some good potential for them. He hasn't pulled out from his playoff team, right? That was just Asenge, right? Which, in all fairness, I don't care what you do either way. I mean, I would understand why fans would be mad at that or whatever. I just kind of don't give a shit. But Ben Seraph on this team feels like a good long-term type of pick, so I think I go with Ben Seraph here. I like that. On to Phoenix with 29, because they've got a second pick now. They've taken a big. Who do you take now? Who do you take now? Kobe Brea is the answer. No, but as much as I'd love to, and I relish the opportunity to talk about him, I think you go with a forward here. Let's get a little bit more forward with size type thing. There's some redundancy in going for Mr. Thiero here because you already have Kalkbrenner, fuck, why can't I talk? Ryan Dunn on the team, who you already should like because his defense was so good right away. He just needs to play any sort of offense. You probably don't want two guys kind of like that. Hugo Gonzalez, a little bit more pro-ready right now in the sense that he's already played some high-level pro basketball. He's got some moves he can go to right away. You can play him at the forward spot. He's played off of good players before, so I think you go with Hugo here. And the Clippers with the 30th pick, I think you go... I just want to get them their backup center in this, someone that can play for them right away. So I'm thinking either Janai Broom or Yannick here, Niederhauser. I don't think you go with Joan just because I think he's going to be more of a project. I could see him slip into the second round clearly because this is what I think is going to happen. I don't think you go Kalkbrenner. I just don't think anyone's actually that high on him to pick him in the first round. But I think I'll go Yannick for this one. I think they'll just say like, hey, some athleticism there. If we can get the work ethic going, like it could be a good one. I wouldn't be mad if you wanted Janai Broom there either. Okay. You don't need to watch me do all the second round because I know my views and retention will drop at that point. So let me go pick some second round people and we will go from there. Alrighty, y'all. And just like that, I have a completed mock draft for you. Now, the second round, it's going to shift a lot. So don't take it as like absolute gospel. Like that's just kind of how this stuff works. These picks get swapped and moved so much. And it's so hard for me to interpret things based off X. I'm like, oh, I could see this team moving here to go get this guy. And I could go see this and this. But, you know, it is what it is. And I'm sure the draft is going to change soon, so I'm going to get this thing edited and posted so I can at least have it be relevant for a certain amount of time. But as always, I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you tune into the stream tomorrow, but let's do the comment of the video. All right, y'all, we got a couple comments of the video coming, just because we had a lot of videos go up today. There's a bunch of them to go through, but one from Caribou 2000 that said, sometimes I do the AVC high-pitched annoying fan voice and it freaks out my dogs. I'm so sorry for your dogs. And what was the other one? Oh, yeah, Stephen B. Fine. What a name, and I don't know why you have a porch as your profile picture, but, you know, why do people do anything? That said, just what the hell? To which I said, I don't know how to respond to this. He said, sorry. just my initial reaction. I'm fine with the trade. I was like, oh, I thought we lost you there for a second there, but yeah, crazy, absolutely crazy stuff going on today. Yeah, as always, I appreciate you guys. Go join the Discord. Link is in the description here. That way you guys can stay up to date on everything happening. Again, I will be live tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you guys are there. I'll be answering your questions, talking about the draft live, and no video Friday. This will count for your video for Wednesday, and then Thursday I'll be like grading draft picks and stuff like that. But then I'm doing some traveling just to go see some family this weekend, so no video Friday. But you guys have been getting like 9 videos a week for a while now, and even after like the season ended, it was down to like 5, so just slowing down just a bit. You're still gonna have some content coming though, don't worry. But anyway, appreciate you guys as always. Talk to you later.